so we were gonna discuss about the Indian education system, right?
Yep.
Whenever we talk about Indian education system, I think the first thing any student who has passed out from India, whether it be schools or colleges, the first thing we go is like, it's shit. Like literally, there is nothing good about it. We only talk about the cons of the education system.
But I don't think there are any pros of the Indian education
Come on,
system.
it's not like that. Every coin has two sides. In the Indian education
Give me
system,
like 3 pros of the Indian education system.
okay, see.
This is a very good start to the episode.
Okay, see. Okay. You know what? When discussing about the system, I think we should start how it all began. Like after Gurukul system, what happened?
After Gurukul system, that was up until 1835, right? A lot of stories, a lot of incidents led up to this. We're not going to like discuss that in detail because we don't want to get too much into the history.
Yeah.
But 1835, there was an act passed called the English Education Act. Right? This was passed by Lord Macaulay or Macloy. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Thomas Macaulay.
Let's just call him Thomas. it's
Yeah, Thomas
for
is easy.
his sake and our sake.
Our sakes, yeah.
Yeah. So he basically put out this act which said that, which suggested that English is the most superior language. English literature is more superior compared to Persian and Sanskrit literature, which at that time was like what
The medium of instruction type.
yeah,
of thing. So, okay.
And more importantly, he had this trick downward placement. Wait, let me just get the term right. I don't want to get it wrong.
I think
Downward
infiltration
filtration theory.
theory,
Downward filtration theory.
Huh.
So downward filtration theory, I think everyone could like guess by the name. What it suggests is you pick the elite of the elite Indians, you educate them,
Yeah.
and when that happens, by the trickle down approach, it will automatically reach people who are lower down in the hierarchy.
Okay.
Right. So
But the aim was different. It was not to educate the
no, it
Indians.
was obviously not to educate. What he wanted to do was like he wanted to like get everyone to start speaking in English. He wanted them to be like a British, like British version of Indian people or Indian version of British people.
Yeah,
whichever
I think,
one of that made sense.
One of the sentences that was used was like in NCRT books when we look into history, they're saying who were Indian in color but English in
that
taste.
was the.
Okay.
We
But-
both phrased the same thing. I just sounded a little uneducated.
Yeah, but the main aim, as in
Yeah.
like what the system was used for, was to get clerks for their
Clerks,
industry.
factory workers,
Yeah,
and
the East India
basically
Company
not
made
question them back.
Yeah.
That's what they were going for.
Which, to be honest, from 1835 up till now, the same system has
Yeah,
been followed.
because I think he hit the sweet spot because like as middle class Indians, for us, I think we are the most comfortable when there's someone in the hierarchy who's above us and who we can like look up to and like this one and someone who's lower than us.
Yeah,
who
there
we
are
can move
very
away from us.
few people in
Right.
the middle class who would willingly take the risk.
Yeah, so we are I think most comfortable when like we feel a sense of inferiority and superiority complex at the same time. That's this one, right?
Yeah.
And we just blindly follow the path that's been set, especially when it comes to like college degrees or education.
Yeah, that safety thing.
Yeah, it's almost like a safety net, which a lot of people don't understand that that's not the way it works.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, even now when we look into the current education system, the schooling system, everyone works according to the safety that they can get into.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the current structure is 10 plus 2, from first standard to 10th standard, and then from 10th, 11th and 12th will be science, humanities, commerce. In there itself, if you are a studious student or anyone, even if you are not like a very studious student also, you would prefer to have science, bioscience, because of the safety it gives. Like you can get into
Later
any
on,
field,
you can get into any science
field,
field.
any commerce field or humanities field. For that, only that reason. It's not like people take up science because they're actually interested in the field
in it.
or they are actually looking up to the field or anything.
As a matter of fact, a lot of times people are forced to take up commerce and arts because their marks are low.
Yeah.
They're ones who, some of them are genuinely interested in being doctors and engineers, but like,
It doesn't translate in their maybe mark sheets.
yes.
Right. So that system where like I think they all play with that safety feature. I think and the added pressure also beside it. Like you were telling me a story about a child in where you worked in?
Yeah. So this was used to volunteer at like this non-government organization, basically like a charity political organization, where we followed you remember the each one teach one
Yeah.
this one initiative. It was somewhat inspired by that. So what we used to do is we used to like tutor kids from like slum areas or the lower privileged areas, and there was this one kid who was, I'd say, around 12 years old. I don't remember his name,
Yes,
or like obviously I wouldn't mention the name either,
Okay.
but he was overscheduled, like insanely overscheduled. Like he was probably doing he was more his schedule was more tight than ours was in college. Right.
Your schedule was tight where?
Ours overall. Like when you
Okay,
take both of our schedules,
combined, yeah,
and
tight
you
schedule, yeah.
find the
Sweet spot.
sweet spot. Yeah, sweet spot.
Okay, so wait, how was his schedule tight? What do you mean by that?
English tuitions,
Okay.
language tuitions, which is like just the way he talks, and then like karate classes, other sports classes. He was learning like science.
How many hours
chemistry.
did he have in a day?
I don't know, but that's the thing, right? He didn't get any free hours at all. Like, he probably used to like go to school in the morning. From the school directly, he used to go to like one tuition to another class to another tuition, go home, eat dinner, sleep, wake up the next day. The cycle repeats, right? So, and when I met his parents, his dad was a auto driver, mom was a house help, and I was like, why are you overscheduling? I was curious, right? Why so much?
Yeah.
Because financially also it's a very big
yeah.
toll for them, and they have 2 kids, and they were like in our whole family, like relatives, everyone put together, this is the first person who's gonna go to college and who's gonna like get a degree which will give him a very good job, and because of that job he will like help us get away from this poverty or whatever thing, right?
See, that's fascinating because see, college never guarantees us that they will give us a job. But still, people do have this belief that having a college degree means you will be successful in life.
Yeah, and the thing for that kid, no, it's like he 12 years old, right? You don't understand the concept of responsibility. You don't understand the concept of having pressure. And even before he understands those, he has so much more of those than he can handle.
Yeah, that he's not aware of.
That he's not aware of, right? So yeah, and I don't know. I think as society we have fallen into this thing where like we just like split or divide people up into 2. It's like this is the educated group who are respected because they do well in college, because they have the potential to get good grades, and then there's the other who are like just considered uneducated or bad students. Or
but even in those education curriculum, let's say like in a system, if it's schooling, let's say if you are taken up science, okay, they give you that respect. Okay, you study. If you have humanities, let's not even consider that option as a student at that point. But even in college as well, if you're doing a BA degree, you're simply going to college 3 years. That's what people say. I mean, I remember like
that's what people say. That's what we have done.
We went for we did BA degree in psychology journalism, and people would like in our college itself, if a BBA student or a BCom student or a BSc student sees us, they're like BA. So that always is there. But I think the pressure.
And I mean, they do have a point. Every time they like ask BA, they like have this instant response to like, it's also a valid degree and all that. And the only thing they need to say to shut us up is like jobs or like campus placements.
But even they don't get placed, so it's fine right now. But talking about
right now.
Right now. No, talking about the pressure, I think in the schooling system mainly, the pressure starts with the competitive entrance exams. Okay, this is like the biggest market in India for the education sector, because Times of India reports like the top 10 toughest exams. Okay, in the top 10 there is a list like Gurukul exam of China is there. There is IIT JEE, of course. UPSC is there. GATE exam is there. USMLE, which is the medical licensing exam in the US, and then the US California bar exam is also there.
I'm just looking at the list document that you've sent me.
Yeah.
And IIT JEE, UPSC and GATE, all 3 are Indian exams.
Yeah, so 3 Indian exams in the top 10 toughest exams.
The ranking is 2, 3 and 8.
Yeah, so JEE exam is much more tougher than medical licensing exam or US California bar exam. So you're telling me a student who puts more effort into his examination can get into a college than a person in US who could get into one of the biggest professions there, either
Most
general
paying
physician.
professions.
Yeah, one of the most paid
Most paying
professions.
professions.
You are either a lawyer there or a general physician there or a doctor.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the level of difficulty there to see that. And see, this translates into the data as well. Like when we look into the stats of how many people appear for these exams. Let's say for JEE is one of the most famous, JEE and NEET. CUT recently came up, but there's not much pressure for CUT, as in the subjects are like English, then they take up the general subjects that they want to. When we look into just JEE, according to Times of India, 12 lakh students registered this year. Now see, JEE has two papers. JEE main is there. Once you qualify that, you go to JEE advanced.
Okay.
Out of 12 lakh.
So JEE and JEE Advanced are like the same paper. It's just like you write down.
Yeah, first
and
you
if
write
you do
JEE
well in
means,
this, you get
then
to
you
do
get
the
into
advanced.
JEE
Okay.
advanced. So 12 lakh registered. Out of that 12 lakh, 2.5 lakh qualified for JEE advanced, which is just 21%.
21%.
Okay. From that 2,50,000, see, all of these people are writing JEE just to get into IITs.
Yeah.
Right. From that 2.5 lakhs, there is only 17,385 seats. So that means from the 12 lakh students, 1.44% will actually get into an IIT in India. Across 23 IIT campuses are there in India, so 1.44%. So imagine if like 100 people write, one student will qualify.
So even if we round that up to 2%,
So let's say 2 students per 100 students.
that's like a very
Bad look for the system actually, because one thing of course people say about is that government could increase the seat capacity. Also we also have to discuss how the whole degree or like the whole idea behind IIT is because you know how we discussed after 10th you're taking up bioscience because of safety. Now after 12th parents only want these students to do a professional course. They don't want to do any BA degree. Even though in India, highest number of students are enrolled in BA degree, most parents do want their children to do a professional course. The solid reason is they will get placed, they will get a job,
good
direct
salary,
job, good salary, good job. You know, nothing to worry about because it's a professional course.
Yes,
but things change over time, right? Now let's look at
things
NEET
change
also.
a lot over time based on this document you've sent me.
No, I mean, see, okay, now let's say if you didn't get in because 1.44%, let's say
that's like 2 people on average for every 100
people.
Oh, right.
Now what if you don't get into IITs or anything? Now you have to look into the private college sector of engineering. In private,
what is the fee difference?
Okay, top 10 private colleges in the country like Bitspilani, Mahi, RV College of Engineering, all those compared to, the fee can range anything from, like the 4-year course can range anything from 4 to 20 lakhs, and it can also go, the management quota can go also up to 50 to 60 lakhs, they are saying. I discussed with a friend.
This is excluding external expenses such as
This is just the fees.
It's just the fees. It doesn't include hostel.
The living accommodation, the food, all things you will have to take into consideration again. So yeah, for a middle class family to send their kid to a private education.
According to this one, it also says, you also say private medical colleges can easily go up to 1.5 crore.
Yeah. Device Patel reported 1.4 crore as their fees for MBBS degree, the whole 5-year.
I'm not sure what the average salary of a middle class is, but I think it's somewhere around 10 lakhs.
See, there are different statistics. On the salary of a middle class in India, there have been some stats that say 10 to 15.
10 to 15.
But then there have been other stats when I try to find 15 to 20 lakhs.
15 to 20.
But see, that's the household income of a middle class family the year.
Best case scenario,
20 lakhs.
20 lakhs, right. So by saying this, we already established that people who are from the lower middle class, people who are from below the poverty line, have no chance. Not even like, you can have all the luck in the world, you can try as hard as you want, no chance.
Because see, the other thing is, these JEE need special consultation or special training, coaching. And these coaching institutes charge you over lakhs. Okay, and these charged lakhs are not ensuring that you will get into IIT. It's just a probability.
This thing what we're talking about now is the coaching centers are centers which coach you just to like, so you have a chance of getting into college.
There is no guarantee that you will get into the
and then if you do get into college, say for example you get into a medical seat and your family makes 15 lakhs a year collectively.
Yeah.
So you're going to spend 10 years of your family's earning to possibly have a job which promises to be well paying.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always follow through.
Yeah, it doesn't always follow through. It's like it all works in that belief system. Okay, like the beginning we said.
It's a very expensive belief.
It's a very expensive belief system to be in. Like you believe this, if your child have a degree, he will reach here. You believe if he does it from this college, he will reach here. Or you believe
that's the thing, right?
things.
Like there are parents who are willing to spend 1.5 crore, put all of their life savings at stake, compromise possibly owning a house, being a house owner, or being a lot of people even compromise something is like a car or a bike, something like that, in order to send their kids to college. But they wouldn't take a chance on their kid and like invest say 5 lakhs into the business that they want to run, or like
follow their
passion.
See, but passion is overrated. After passing BA degree, we understand that. But let's.
Passion.
Yeah, this is passion. Passion. But see, the other thing is the repercussions that happen because the ground reality.
Before that, I just want to take a minute to talk about the coaching fees. Because we spoke about the college fees, we don't talk about the coaching fees.
It can differ depending upon where you're. I mean, there are different institutes, and these are private institutes, and some are like government trained institutes or anything. So you are spending minimum. I'm saying 1 to 2 lakhs.
But that's like the lowest.
One of the lowest.
One of the lowest. 1 to 2 lakhs.
So it can go even 3, 4, 5, 6. I know a parent who spent send their child for 11th and 12th. So with schooling, it's hostel and coaching. It cost them around 6 lakhs.
Per year?
Yeah, per year.
Okay,
Or no, I think it's for the 2 years. So per year 3 lakhs. But this is in like a not so urban setting. It's in a rural setting. Like a semi-rural, semi-urban setting. Okay. So when it comes to an urban setting, it changes a lot more.
Yeah. 6 lakhs in a place like Bangalore is completely different from 6 lakhs in a place like some rural part of Karnataka.
Kerala or Karnataka or anywhere. So that changes everything. The other thing is like what does these entrance exam do to a child emotionally? Right. I don't know if you have watched Kota Factory, the series.
What is Kota?
Okay, Kota. So you know how like different states are known for different things. As in like Karnataka is known for Bangalore, IT hub, coffee, everything. Kerala, for example, could be known for backwaters, the Alappuzha, backwaters, God's own country. There are many factors in there. Tamil Nadu for other things,
spices
or
sambar.
Yeah,
which is not sweet.
Okay, so and like that, Rajasthan is also known for.
Are we talking about that?
No, another children thing is there. Not only that children.
What?
So Rajasthan.
I have nothing to do with it.
No, Rajasthan is known for as the coaching hub because Kota is a part of Rajasthan where there
it is a very kid friendly.
There also students are involved. Underage students are involved. Okay.
You could have brought this up in so many other ways which wouldn't make me look like
I asked you what is Rajasthan famous for and your face went the other way around. I had to change your entire version. Okay, so
you could have just said Kota is a coaching center in Rajasthan.
It's not a coaching center. It's like let's say for example.
That's not the point I'm focusing on. I'm just saying you could have phrased the sentence that way.
Phrasing is gone. Okay, like for example, let's say Kalyan Nagar. Okay, Kota is like a place like Kalyan Nagar.
Okay.
Just to keep it in mind for you to understand. And it is like filled with coaching institute. Like you spit left side, there's a coaching institute. You look right side, there's a coaching institute. Look straight, there's a coaching institute. Look back, there's a toilet. Like it's covered in one toilet at least. So it's like covered in coaching institute. As in like over 2 lakh students are enrolled in just coaching institutes there. And
so Kota is like a place in
it's
area
a factory,
where
to be honest.
Okay,
like just to produce these IIT, JEE students and NEET students. Okay, but the ground reality of Kota is worse. Okay, you can look into, for example, if you're a person who does not have a contact with anyone who has like studied in Kota, okay, you can look into what people in Kora might have said. Okay, and the other thing is, looking at the stats in Kota, students study around 12 to 16 hours a day.
Kota. It's just called Kota, right?
Yeah, Kota. Kota.
Okay. Yeah, keep.
Okay, so like students study at least 12 to 16 hours a day.
12 to 16 hours a day.
A day.
So comparing that to say like an IT schedule, which an IT or corporate schedule we already consider as
9 to 5.
a lot of work pressure.
Yeah.
You're gonna have like they're gonna overwork you. You're gonna be this. There's this term corporate
Deadlines,
slave,
targets,
rat race, all of these things,
Mm.
and that itself, it's very taxing and very tiring. Like
Yeah.
you see people who work 9 hours, 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day in front of a computer, and that's just like they're dead. They can't do anything else.
Yeah, and
Right?
see, and those are adults.
Those are adults.
Prime of their energy.
Yeah.
These are students who are in 8th, 9th, and can go up to like, because after 12th also they're taking a repeat year, they might be 20, 21 also.
So say somewhere between the age group of 70 to 20 or 21, right? It's still a very like this. Probably would like affect the way they process information,
everything.
process life
As a
in
whole,
as
yeah.
a whole. It's going to affect their interpersonal relationships. It's going to
Yes.
affect their family dynamic. It's going to affect their friendships.
Mm.
It's going to affect maybe even like their confidence or like the way they communicate. Because one thing I've noticed, not just like over here, but like in people who are brought up with this mindset of like I have to
Succeed and-
academically, they have this academic validation that if I don't do well in exams, if I don't get the
That's
best
like
mark, the
to
first
be honest, the end.
mark, it is like the end of the world.
And but see, even if it
Or
was
like you
not
were
the
at the
case,
first year.
no, if it was not, let's say a student who does not care about the academics that much, or if that was not his end of the world also, Kota is a place that would make him feel that way.
Okay.
So it conditions you to believe that that mark that you get in your mock test and that IIT entrance exam is what defines your success.
Oh.
Okay, now putting that level of pressure on a student, the other thing is,
just googled Kota and I'm going through the articles, and it gives me an estimate that Kota is $500 million industry.
yeah, $500 million industry. Just the
$500
coaching institute,
billion
the
dollar
PGs,
industry.
because there are over 40,000 PGs, and I don't know how many institutes are there currently, because every month or every year there is a new institute.
Wow.
Yeah, and the
$500 million industry. Do you have any idea on how many people are enrolled in Kota? Like
over 2 lakhs.
over 2 lakhs and $500 million.
Yeah, 2 lakh students create $500 million industry. In dollars, I'm saying, not even rupees. $500 million industry. That this report was given by the diplomat. So yeah,
Turn Kota into a country and you have like the best GDP in the world.
yeah. See, $500 million industry is not small
It's
at
not
all
small.
for a lot of countries, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the ground reality of Kota, how students are raised, as in like I've talked to a person who was passed out from Kota. They said they can't trust anyone. There's cutthroat competition. Everyone is trying to defeat each other. There is no sense of empathy there. As in like you don't care what the other person is going through, what the other person is having, and this translates in the reports as well. There,
What do you mean by they don't trust anyone?
as in like, see, it's a cutthroat competition. As in
Okay.
everyone is competing with each other, even for a single point. Let's say like, you know, if you get a correct answer in JEE, you get 4 marks per question. If you lose one, if you get negative, that's -1. Even for that -1, there will be a competition. -2.25 also, if it was there will be a competition for that. Okay, so everyone's down their throat, and everyone is trying to like divert the other person's attention as well. I was reading some experiences from Kota and from my friends who did. They were like, if you are not studying, you're either trying to disturb the other person or planning to disturb the other person,
So this is like.
or you're sleeping. That's it.
So this is almost like you took Big Boss and you added education into it.
Yeah, without the cameras. That's why a lot of suicides happen. But yeah,
So
we
cameras
should-
are the reason they.
no. I mean, I think we shouldn't joke about that, because according to Times of India, from 2019 to 2021,
Yeah.
35,000 student suicides have happened.
Let's talk about the suicide rate, right? Because student suicide is something which is very popular.
Serious, and
Yeah, it's
Kota is
also-
known for that now.
Yeah.
After coaching institute, it's
Kota,
the amount
and
of
I think
suicides.
in general also student
Suicides have been very high in India.
It's quite trending nowadays.
You shouldn't do that. Okay. Like in Kota, in this year, 2024, within the first 3 months, I believe, there have been already 6 suicides. And see,
Huh.
it's not like only this year. Last year it went up to 26. Before that 23 or something.
Yeah.
So there have been a trend. And so of course the government had to take some action, right? They can't
Yeah.
just leave the students at like the mercy of whatever happens to
Whatever
them later.
happens, yeah.
So they had appointed counselors, but the ground reality of counselors was then again reported by the Quint. And you know what the counselor said to students, some of the students? कुछ भी कर लो बस suicide मत करना.
Damn. Wait, this was reported by the Quint.
Yeah.
Was that like a quote or?
It was a quote, बस suicide मत करना.
Huh.
There will be Quint also reports on like a student's experience where a student's parent had died, and so of course going through an emotional time period, and went to the counselor, and the counselor was like, "It's okay, focus on your studies."
Nice.
So yeah, how effective the counseling system is working in Kota is questionable altogether. In that. Okay.
On the bright side, I could do this job at Kota. I think.
Yeah, but see that's what it's like. It's also breaking
Do we
the
have
ethics
any
of.
this one on like the qualifications of the counselors?
There haven't been any, to be honest, there is no clear-cut data on if they are qualified, if they have the right training.
I don't think a qualified counselor.
No,
Maybe.
to be honest, in India, the field of psychology needs a lot more improvement. As psychology journalism students, we have two majors. One of the major is psychology, and one of the major is psychology. So the other thing I've witnessed is a lot of students, like our classmates, if you have talked to them, the ones who go to therapy, okay. A lot of the qualified, with clinical licensed clinical psychologists also don't perform that in that level of ethical manner that we expect them to.
Yeah. Sometimes you do have performance anxiety.
But yeah, that translates here as well.
I think now would be a good time to bring up the fact that you are also a career counselor.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for I think over the last 3-4 years.
2-3 years.
2-3 years part time.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like the requirement in the scope in the field of psychology. You said there's a requirement in.
Of course, if you're trying to become clinical psychologist, you can't do just masters and become.
Yeah, so
you have to do few
take me through
internships.
that thing of like how crucial is it not just to have like clinical psychologists, but have good clinical psychologists, people who are like ethical, people who know how to. Say
Yeah.
for example, someone's having a panic attack, it's just not like it would just breathe.
I know, of course. In India, the report suggests that there is one psychologist per 100,000 citizens.
One psychologist per 100,000 citizens.
So at the moment, the mental health sector is kind of not in the level people want.
I think I can speak more on that because like I did an internship in
Nimans.
Nimans, which is India's biggest mental health,
yeah.
one of the two biggest mental health
Health
institution, and I was posted at this one OPD, and the doctors, I can't say that like the doctors were bad or like people who were like doing the counseling sessions, they were really good doctors. When you sit down and have like a one-on-one conversation with them, they're extremely insightful, very knowledgeable. They have like really good understanding not only of the subject, but most of them are also like very empathetic towards people, right? But the problem is the amount of people who come in for treatment, because of course you need a lot of people need the treatment, like and this is not even taking into consideration the people who should go to therapy, because there's a difference between the people who should go to therapy and people who absolutely need therapy, right? Like
severe cases,
right? Like I'm talking about like the people who can't survive without therapy, right? Those are the type of people who typically show up at Namans, because I think people who should go to therapy, you and I are also people who should go to therapy.
It is open to anyone.
It's open to anyone. Like I feel anyone brought up or like who's surviving
in Indian
household.
No, we shouldn't generalize like that. But yeah, anyone can opt for
about 99%. I'm not generalizing. I'm just
99% not generalizing. Yeah.
No, but like the point I was trying to make is they used to do this whole thing, which is like taking the data down, case history, like the history of the patient, problems of the patient, possible solutions, recommending what they should consult next and what type of treatment they should take. This whole thing was done in like a matter of like 15-20 minutes, 10-15 minutes for the most part.
I mean, we study it should be done in like 1.5 hours, but
no, the thing is like therapy in general is like a 1 hour session, right? Like, You sit down, you talk to the patient for an hour, you give them time to like, you build that. One of the very important things we learned was building rapport, which was also the only thing I learned.
According to Hindu, 22% of IIT Delhi graduates have not been placed in the last 5 years.
Education is supposed to be about like
A holistic development thing.
Yeah.
So where is the system work? Disparity among
Yeah.
the rich and the poor
Yeah.
is all time high, even compared to when India was colonized
by the
British.
British. And the top 10% of the country contributes to 90% of the country's GDP. Is college worth it? Or is college necessary?